In today's demonstration, we're going to show linking and traceability between a requirement in DOORS-NG, a story in Team Concert, and a test case in Rational Quality Manager. To get started, I've created a change request in D&G. Information for the change request is already filled out. This is a fictitious requirement. This is being used just as an example in this case. Next thing that we want to do, now that we have created it, now we want to create a mapping story that goes into Team Concert that tells us when this requirement is going to get implemented. To do that, I'll open the links area. If the links area is not open, click to expand it. From this area, click on Add Link to Artifact. Select Implemented By. Next, make sure you select the correct container. In this case, select the correct one. We know that the story has not been created yet, so we can't select Create New. However, if we know someone has already created a story or a story has already been implemented, we can link to an existing story if need be. I'll select Create New. For the summary, we'll enter in a good story verbiage. We'll fill out the remainder of the information. For Planned For, we know that this has to be implemented by August, so we'll give it a June time frame to give sufficient time for testing afterwards. We'll give it a priority of medium. The rest of the information we will leave as is, except for the filed against. Wherever you see a field with an asterisk, this is a required field that must be completed before moving forward. This is a good opportunity also to fill out the acceptance test. If you have not already completed it on the change request, now's a good time to do so. Here we've already created some acceptance test information that describes the different conditions under which we know that this story has been completed. An acceptance test is absolutely critical for creating a test case against it. It lets everyone know what everyone agrees to as what is acceptable to have been completed during testing. We'll click on OK. Now we can see that the story has been saved. To open the story, we'll right-click and select Open in New tab. The story is now ready to be taken over by the development team. The development team can assign story points to give it a relative size. They can also create child tasks such as develop the user interface, develop the business logic, develop the changes to the database schema as needed. They can also assign an owner. They see that it is planned for the June timeframe. Again, this is where we need to make sure we're doing constant collaboration between the stakeholders, the business analysts, and the developers. If we go to the Acceptance tab, here's the acceptance criteria that we've listed. Again, the acceptance criteria is critical so that the development team fully understands what is being expected to have been developed. You'll notice also a convenient link, Add Tested by Test Case. This is a great area to go ahead and stub out the test case. We'll click on this button. Specify the correct repository for Quality Manager. In this case, we know the test case has not been created. We'll go ahead and create the new test case. Click OK. For the new test case, we'll give it a name. It already assigns a default weight. We can also choose a base template. We can give it a category, assign it an actor. We'll click on OK, and assign it to an owner who will be responsible for developing the test case. Now the test case has been added. Make sure and save. Now let's open the test case in its own window. In the development items, we can see the link back to the linked planning story. When we click on requirement links, we can see that the link has not been created yet. We can easily add that. Click on the plus sign to add a new link. Select the repository. Because we've already created the requirement, in this case a change request, that's listed up here in the upper left-hand corner. We can just type in the number of the requirement ID. There's a requirement, and we'll click on OK. Click Save. Now we have linkages between all three areas. If we go to the requirement and refresh the page, we'll see that we have new links implemented by and validated by. We can read this as the change request is implemented by the story. The change request is validated by the test case.